What's up, guys? Tim Halstead here for episode 40 of Fixing Up the 409 Cleveland. I get a kick out of that. Garrett Corso, who's a neighbor of mine, lives behind us with his family, and he gets a kick out of me saying that introduction. So sometimes he'll walk around saying that. So there's a shout out to you, man. Appreciate that. Kind of give you a recap of where we're at, and then we'll start getting to work. The heads, you'll see some video of me tearing the heads apart, depending on how I get this set up. But they're already at Morgan's now, and I talked to him yesterday on the phone. We're talking for a bit. So he's going to put the titanium exhaust valves in those heads. He said the intakes look pretty good, not touch up a little bit, not much to do with that. And recontour the port, and that thing's ready to rock and roll. So he said they should be out by Tuesday. That'd be nice. I'm going to get this oil pan torn off in this episode so we can take a peek at it and see what's going on. May even have the girdle off and pull off a couple main caps because I got to make sure those bearings are good. Now with that whole history, that some water in there. But want to kind of give a shout out to Steve Kinzel. He's been helping me with my channel. I've been doing a lot of videos for him. He's got quite the setup with that DragBoss 434. I'm impressed by that, and I'm actually kind of building something very similar, although Morgan's going to do the heads in my combination. And Scott Cook, if you're still into it, you said you wanted to do an intake, so I'm looking forward to that. I have a place that I'm going to have machine the block now. I've talked to him. His name is Keith at Cam's Canton Automotive Machine. It's local here. I talked to Jay Roeder about it before, and I appreciate Jay's effort. It's just too far away from me. I kind of want to be able to get some video of it and kind of want to be more involved with it. And so hopefully that'll work out in that manner. But I appreciate Jay giving me a hand. He's got a great powder coating business. I want to get some things powder coated, so I may have to talk with him about that. He's got some good stuff coming out of there. So there's a shout out for you, Jay Roeder. Thanks, man. Let me grab a drink of my Kenzel Ventures Limited cup with tonic and lime. I don't drink alcohol, but I like tonic and lime. But here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do I saw that Steve had did on that episode where he put the wrench on the inch-pound torque wrench and turned it over, and I forgot what he said, 110 maybe, 115 to turn his over. So I set mine up at 115. We'll see what this does. So right there, it's clicking. It's pretty good. Okay. So let's turn that thing up. So that's 115. There's 120. So right there's about 120. So it's probably like maybe let's see, 125. No issue there. So 120 to 125, that's what I got. So you can kind of compare that difference. That was kind of cool. Since the last time we had filmed, as Rhodey used to call it, filming. You filming? Used to yell that out when I'd be in his shop working. So I got all the studs out of it. Everything's cleaned up except for the china wall. I got to clean the gasket off that. I drained all the water out of it and everything. Let's turn her over. And you know how I am about messes. Nice. This over here. I want to be jabbing my legs into that, walking around the damn thing. So this is a little different corner part of the shop. I like this little area. It's got a nice work light right above this workbench. Got a lot of bins up here. I like to build my transmissions on this workbench. I have a hole drilled in it so I can put the tail shaft in it when I'm working on it to reassemble it. Makes it nice. I don't do a lot of work here. Sometimes you get busy and you just store stuff here. But I'm taking the springs and stuff out of these heads, getting it organized, getting it ready to go to Morgan's. So check it out. Can't say enough about this SC2000 by LSM spring, valve spring compressor. Thing's wicked, man. Works like a charm. So I'm on right now, I'm on number 2. Intake. See how this looks. Kind of got to get squared and lined up nice before you go pressing it. And I like that center to make sure when it's going down it doesn't catch the sides. But these are 280 on the seat, so they're probably 700, 750 open. You don't want to play around with this stuff when you're messing with high pressures. Take your face off. So I take my time, make sure stuff's on there right. Keepers come right off. And then back off the compressor nice and easy. Nice and straight. Tricky. Just gotta be careful. Here's the titanium intakes. These are the old Ford Motorsport valves. Very nice. Nice margin all the way around. About 80 grams compared to like, what's a Cleveland? I want to say 120, but I can't remember. So that was number 2 intake. I like to keep them all organized in these bags. Keeps everything clean the way it just came apart in the motor. Pop off the valve stem seal. These are like those PC seals, man. They fit tight, but nice. Then I got my shims here that I set these up myself. I want to wreck these. Then I don't have to recheck them, hopefully, when I put it back. I probably will, though, just to make sure. But I'm going to buy a mic, a height mic. I didn't have that last time. I want that. And when I get everything packaged up, the heads are going to go to Morgan. I'll send them the intake valves. The exhaust I'm going to keep. I'll probably sell those. Put them in something else. But I like to keep it all organized. That's the main thing. Then you never have to worry about where stuff is. Loose stuff. Here's the exhaust here. Let's wheel this up. The thing about this compressor is it's all bearings. They're all roller bearings. That makes it really nice. zebras that fall right out of there. Back it off, nice and easy. So that's one exhaust. We got that, or two exhausts. There again, looking nice. I gotta write that down. I gotta buy a height mic. I don't want to forget to buy that. I want to do it the right way and not have to mess around. But there's where we're at. Got the head down. I'll get that thing cleaned up, brake clean it down, get it all blown off with air, get it shipped up with the other one, which is right there, and ship it to Morgan. We'll get working on those. Stay tuned. Let's get that oil pan off. But right as of this weekend, I got 7 weeks to have this thing loaded out of the trailer and going to Norwalk. So that's not much time. I'm gambling that everything in regards to the oil pan, bearings, all that stuff can be good. Not going to have an issue with it, I'm hoping. But like I said, racing's dynamic, so you never know what you're going to find. And at this point, the oil was not really grossly contaminated with water, but I did see a few areas where it was like, man, that just does not look right. And when I see stuff like that in this situation, it's like, don't bother. Just take it apart and check it out. So I can remember doing this with my daughters. However long ago that was. It wasn't too long ago. The thing about YouTube, though, they've changed the laws, or however, whatever you want to call it, the restrictions about having kids in the video. Now you can do it and have it being kid safe, I guess. I really haven't found the whole deal with it, or an explanation yet on how and what's allowed. But like I said on previous videos, sometimes the kids are into it, sometimes they're not. And that's okay. So I'll give another shout out, and this is to, his name is Benchmark Bob. You look it up by Benchmark Bob or Benchmark Arizona. This guy has a site. Now he's an old drag racer. I forgot what he said he had at one time. But he's a really nice guy, and he has he has all the LSM line of spring compressors. Like that one there I got from him. And he's got a bunch of stuff. So he doesn't really give any discounts, but if you look at the price of what you get, that spring compressor was $325 shipped to my door. That's the cheapest I can find at Jegs, and Summit were like $359. And that's a big savings, you know, especially that shipping. I hate that deal with the shipping. But he's a cool dude. I told him I'd give him a shout out. I asked if he wanted to sponsor me because we were talking about that, but he said, look, I just have the markdown so low. I'm not making anything really on this. It's more of a service. And I said, I appreciate that. So I gave him a shout out. So looking on what he's got on there, you got to kind of search his site a little bit to find the things you need. the way they have it set up. They have engine tools and measuring tools, calipers, mics, all that. I'm going to buy all my engine building stuff through him. So that's the pan bolts. Like I said before, one of the most important things that you want to do is keep your stuff organized. I put every bolt right back into a package so I don't have to, if I didn't want to wash it, I probably didn't have to, but I will go through it. Because when you take something apart, it's like, do you even bother washing everything and putting it back together brand new versus taking it right out, putting it in a bag and putting it back in. Kind of get the feel for it once you get it apart. Now when I see stuff like this, right there, see? Look at that. That don't look right to me. Doesn't look terrible, but that looks like, you can see there's water in there. See it? You can see the little bubbles. But the pan itself isn't really grossly contaminated. We'll get a better look at it. I'll tell you, it's got plenty of oil everywhere, that's for sure. But yeah, I can see little tiny droplets of coolant, and whether I took it apart and it got in there or it came from that cylinder, I can't say. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take it apart and check it out. The windage tray looks mint, the one that Blake Livingston sent me. Thank you, Blake, again. Give you a shout out for that. This is Precision oil pumps, high volume oil pump that they massage up. I took a video before I took the pan off to check the oil pickup location, which was perfect. About 3/8 off the pan. So one of the things that really interests me is the Steph's pan. I got a drawing of a Steph's aluminum pan. I'm so tempted to get one of them, but it's the turnaround time. You just can't pay for it and get it next week. It takes months to turn it around. Stan, I've talked to him before. He's a good dude, so maybe I'll talk to him again. I got 7 weeks to get this done. But let's get it taken apart, cleaned up a little bit first, and I'll start pulling down the oil pump and take it off the windage tray. But you know me, I got to clean up first. Oh yeah, so we'll be taking some of this apart, no doubt about that. But I wanted to give a shout out too to Mike Weeks and the guys that were at his Practice Tree Nationals event. This is the second year I've been there. They've been running it for a few years. It's pretty cool. Basically hang out in Mike's garage, BS about racing, and let me shut these lights off. I can tell it's a little too bright. But we hung out there. I won the pot for the 400 tree, pro tree, which I've never raced before in my life. And that was nice. Thanks, Mike, and the guys there. And, but I couldn't cut a light with a 500 tree. Not very good anyways. I have a practice tree, and I just don't use it. But I want to give a shout out to those guys. We were talking about possibly doing that 40 Ford coupe I have, maybe helping me do the back half on that, whether I do that at Mike's place or here or something. But that's coming up in the future. So I'm going to pull off this oil pump. This was from Doug, I think it's Garofalo, from Precision Oil Pumps. Give a shout out for him. He's got blueprinted pumps there at a pretty good price. And I looked at it, what he does to them, and it's like you might as well just go ahead and buy it already done. Now that baby's tight. And they're like a 12-pointer. So I'm kind of cheating with this little breaker bar. But had a good time there at the Practice Tree National. So he's with Tony Fritz. They're going to come up with a Ford race. I want to say it's June 21st at Dragway 42. That'll be a cool event. Hopefully I can have this thing done. My goal is, like I said, I have 7 weeks to get this thing done and on the trailer. That's 4/11. So that's when Norwalk opens, or Summit Raceway. So I want to be all ready for that. Now I see this little bit of moisture in here, which Hopefully it's not a big issue. We'll check it out. Like I said, you can't get too worked up about it, and just make sure that it's okay. Carry on. Drop a washer down in there or something stupid. So this is the oil pan. Try to keep it all together. So give a shout out too to Awareness Racing, Dr. Ron Burgess and Aaron Larry Puff. You've seen this before. This is a nice chrome moly shaft from Precision Oil Pumps. It looks good, fit well, no big wear marks on it. And I put the studs in here. Get that all cleaned up. Got to pull off this girdle. Kind of just running by things, make sure I'm not missing anything. Talking about what we got planned, time frame, the heads. You know, if you saw Steve Kinzel's DragBoss 434, he's running the Blue Thunder heads. I got my set right here. And the issue, someone had called me out before about saying I was going to give an update on it, but I didn't, and I must have forgot while I was talking. But those heads are going to Darren Morgan's after I get my other heads back, which are the ones that are going to go on this. And I talk about these Secret A3, people have asked me about it. Those are the other set of heads that he's doing, where he welded up the combustion chambers. I'll put some pictures, maybe put them at the end of this video. And he said they should be in the 400 range. These things here, the ones that go on this one, are close to that now. So, and hopefully I can get a 950 out of them. That's what I want. Hopefully it won't be an issue. We'll know when we get this thing apart, clean it up. Let's see. Let's pop off this windage tray. I don't remember how tight these were. I don't like this stuff. These are really... I think I did put a little bit of Loctite glue on them. Just got it with Allen heads, make sure it's in there, and kind of just smooth it over. Once you get it loose, you're good. But yeah, they get rounded out. That sucks to take them out. I forgot it. There's a way you can do it too. I haven't had to use it other than vice grips. You know, kind of grab that edge of it as tight as you can with a good pair of vice grips, and usually you can get it off. You can probably cut a slot in it too, depending on if it's hardened. Oh, my baby. Now, if you saw Steve's video about his DragBoss, that one part at the end about the correct forward offset, I think that makes a difference. I mean, we don't know. We'll tell when we dyno this thing, although we got head work done to it. And hopefully I can get that all done without any issues so I can get a session somewhere. The guys at CAM said they could hook me up. I kind of want to stick where I've been since I know everybody, and the last time I was dynoed, it was there, and it's a nice facility. So that could all be coming up. But like I said, you know, I wanted to give that shout out to Morgan. He's been helping me out, get me hooked up, and I posted on my Facebook some of his welding, because I look at him as like a machine. You know, he's a head flow guy, grinds heads, flows them, that kind of stuff, intakes. I never see him really doing all the welding part. And when I saw him welding some stuff was like, geez, man, he's pretty damn good. He told me he's been doing it since he's 16, so that's the same amount of time I've been racing. But he's a better welder than I am a racer. But yeah, it's got some, it's not really contaminant, but you could tell there's little tiny droplets that got in there. So hopefully it was just coming off the trailer. I'll show you quick what it looks like. We'll pull the caps off. Pretty clean. I like that crank, man. That thing shines like crazy. It's just too bright. I got these LED lights, boy, and with them on, it's great to work on when you're by yourself, but to try to film anything, you can't see anything. It's too damn bright. So it looks good in there, I'll tell you. I got a positive attitude about it, and let's see what we can do. Now, in this case, I always like to take the thrust off, loosen that up first, the center, then the ends. I don't know why, but that's just how I am. And this is the girdle I've been running for a long time, close to 20 years. Bruce Weiss makes a nice girdle. This is aluminum. I really like it. If I didn't have this, I'd run that. I might even run one on the DragBoss. But I like to loosen things up in order the way they are. No boys allowed in this. Like how people say, oh, girdles don't help anything. They don't do any good. Here's what I say. Who cares? I use one. You don't use one, you don't want to use it, don't use one. It's like the same thing with the oil pump deal. Everyone complains about, you know, oh, you can't use a high volume oil pump, it wastes horsepower, blah, 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 and it does this and does that. Who cares? Use what you want. If you like it, it works well, then use it. I just have to like high volume because I've had good luck with them and good bearing issues. So I stick with what works. There again, take things apart, pay attention to what you're doing. You don't want to drop stuff down there, fish for it, go through all that. That's the importance about keeping neat. Keeping stuff organized so you don't lose it when you put it back together. I could use that gun. Sometimes I like to do it with my hand. Like I said, that's my goal, is to try to get this thing dynoed and in the car by the 411 and on the trailer in Norwalk. So just hopefully it depends on how things are. If I didn't wait too long for finding a dyno and all that business, and like I said, you know, things change. If I can't find something, I just put it together, I'll race it. I'm not going to sit around and go through all this. It was a nice day here in Ohio. It was like 45. 48. Spring's coming. It's been a mild winter, I gotta say. And I'm okay with that. I think the older you get, the more tired you get of getting up every morning to go to work and dealing with that kind of issues of snow and freezing rain or whatever happens. That's choice. There's an air gap. You can see just by the oil that's on this that it's not touching the main caps. So there's a little clearance in there, and that's what you want. Just leave it all in one area for now until I clean up. Might as well pull off the number 1 bearing right now. Blake, I'm going to use your hammer. Thanks. Oh, I like that. I don't know if you can see that. They're coated bearings, so they're dark to begin with. But I'll tell you, they look pretty good. I don't see anything. They still got the coating on there. There might be a tiny little bit of a scratch there, probably from debris or something. I don't know. Got to get it cleaned up and get a better look at it. Crank looks awesome. And I like to take it all off and put it just the way it was. Nice, nice, nice. Look just like they were when I put them in there, baby. I like that. So anyways, you know what I'm going to do. Pull it off and look at it. Make sure everything looks good. Pull off some rods. We'll look at those too. At this point, we're going to end it short because I think I already have enough of me blabbing away talking about race plans. So, like I said, I got the first and second caps pulled off. Those bearings look good. I'm pretty psyched about that. I'll pull the rest of them off and take a look at it, and a couple of the rods, probably 5 and 7, and take a peek at them. And if they look good, I'll clean it up, put it back together, set the thrust, and put it back together. I'll be psyched. Heads should be here by next Friday, so things are moving right along. I want to give a shout out to Mike from Mike's Mustangs. I met him back in 2005 with Jim Willett. They came to my place in Columbus. So I always wanted to give a shout out to you, Mike. I told you I want to get a Mustang, and I want a 69, and that's going to be the next thing after I get this DragBoss. But here's a shout out to him. So thank you for that. I like to give credit where credit is due. But at this point, let's cover up the patient. Can't say enough about not keeping things clean, especially in a situation like this. So tell you, these drapes work good. This is from operating room. Like for our knee arthroscopy or extremity drape. Works good. Keeps everything clean. So stay tuned, subscribe and share.